All right, here we go, doing another live stream. Hey everyone, Stephen Robles here. So I'm going to do some more editing of podcasts on the iPad mini. I'm going to live stream it. So I'd love to hear your questions. Send them in as I go. And yeah, we'll be off to the races. Here's the iPad. Do a little picture-in-picture. And let me share this. And then we'll be going. All right, here we go. Share, tweet that out. Let me go to that. Live stream podcast editing. I'll tune in here. All right, here we go. And all right, so here we go. This is editing podcasts on the iPad. This is my iPad mini.
Through a doorway and really like doing that kind of by the book infiltration. It's like
I get it.
That's not the, really like doing that kind of by the book infiltration. It's like
I get it.
That's not the James Bond.
I do think that's why I think the opening act.
It's like
I get it.
That's not the James Bond I love.
I get it.
That's not the James Bond I love.
I do think that's why I think the opening action sequence might be the best one with the like canonical Bond car.
Yes.
Like when he and Madeline are sitting in there and all the machine guns are firing it, but it's bulletproof, and he's just sitting there steaming mad because someone gave him up. And then she says, "Say something," and he's like, "Okay." And then the machine guns come out of the headlight car, and he swivels around. That one is like that James Bond to the max. I did love that. And then she says, "Say something," and he's like, "Okay." And then the machine guns come out of the headlights of the car, and he swivels around. That one is like that's James Bond to the max. I did love that. Can we talk about? All right, so I'm gonna put in that clip from the opening action sequence. I'm gonna go back to the movie. I have the whole movie recording here as an audio file, so I can pull whatever I'd like. I'm also going to raise the volume here on my microphone and this, so maybe you can hear that a little better. I'll turn it up. Okay, here we go. So I know that action sequence is at the very beginning. Let me go over here. Let's see.
Continue.
That's right after James Bond. Let's see.
James, listen. Say something, James.
Those are all the gunshots right there. A lot of gunshots. I don't know if I want to play all that. Let's see.
Okay.
That's what I want right there, where he says, "Okay." So I'm going to cut out a bunch of those gunshots.
Say something, James.
Okay.
There we go. That's a little better. Maybe a little more there. Yeah, just that little bit. It's just a little clip to put in while we're talking about that scene. So let me go back to the podcast episode. We'll put that here. And let's see how that plays. Car, and he swivels around. That one is like, that's James Bond to the max. I did love that.
Yes.
Say something, James.
Okay.
Can we talk about... Yeah, I'll take a couple... Rami.
Okay.
Can we talk about Rami Malek?
Rami.
I mispronounced Rami's name there. So. I want to talk about Rami Malek as the villain in this film. Cut all that out. With the such on-the-nose...
He was. Okay.
I want to talk about Rami Malek as the villain. I want to talk about Rami Malek as the villain in this film with the such on-the-nose name as Lucifer Safin.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
Like, come on now. But as a villain, what did you think of him, Nate?
I thought.
Come on. But as a villain, what did you think of him, Nate? I want to know.
I thought he was generic. What's the other?
What?
A poor man's.
Cut out some of the
what's the
spaces
other guy?
there.
The much scarier guy from Skyfall.
I'm so mad. You thought it was who was it?
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem.
I thought he was
I'm gonna
poor
put
man's
mine
Javier
up.
Bardem.
Are you? I'm so mad. You thought it was Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem. I thought he was
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem. I thought he was poor man's Javier
What?
Bardem.
Are you kidding me right now?
I think Rami Malek was.
We're talking about No Time to Die, the James Bond movie, and we review it on the next episode of the Movies on the Side podcast. So that's what I'm editing right now.
Are you kidding me right now?
I think Rami Malek was boring as a bad guy.
Oh my god.
You know when he was better? He was better in a mask when apparently bad guy.
Oh my god.
You know when he was better? He was better in a mask when apparently he was 14 in Madeline's childhood.
Now-
Because those ages don't quite match up. But
That is true.
keep the mask on. It's so much scarier.
That mask was terrifying in the
The
very
mask
opening
is
scene.
terrifying. Keep the mask on.
I thought he
Mask on. It's so much scarier.
that mask was terrifying in the very opening
The
scene.
mask is terrifying. Keep the mask on.
I thought
Okay. So I want to see if I can pull a clip of Rami Malek speaking. This will be at the very, very beginning of the movie when he goes to the house. Let's see if
Mr. White home.
No, he's gone.
More. Your husband killed my
No, he's gone.
My name is Lucifer Safin. Your husband killed my family.
I told you, he's
So he says his name there. So I'm going to pull that clip, put it in here.
Terrifying. Keep the mask on.
My name is Lucifer Safin. Your husband killed my family.
I told you.
I thought
Killed my family.
Figure that out.
he
Your husband killed my family.
I thought he
What's up, the bearded teacher? Apparently we got some namespace crossover. What's going on? That's funny. I'm bearded teacher. I think you're the bearded teacher. You got the definite article. Let me turn that down. Okay.
I thought he was again like the Lane character in Mission Impossible, which I think is a good villain. He is not the physical villain. He's not. He can't fight Bond.
Yeah, he tries. He does.
He is not physical villain. He's not. He can't fight Bond hand to hand.
Yeah, he tries. He does.
Well, but
Because James Bond's old.
hand to hand.
Yeah, he tries. He does.
Well, but
Because James Bond's old.
but he's like the mind villain and the like sadistic type villain. I don't know. I thought he was very menacing.
I felt like he never showed that he was James Bond's old.
But he's like the mind villain and the like sadistic type villain. I don't know. I thought he was very missing.
I felt like he never showed that he was incredibly intelligent. He never
Sorry, the bearded teacher. I guess, yeah. Took your name. I didn't know there was another one out there. But I also have a beard. And I'm teaching podcasting right now.
showed that like he just has his family's Poison Island bunker guy, and he's just
Nate,
a creepy dude.
okay, no spoilers. But in those final scenes when he's like laying in the water, like with his eyes super wide, talking to Bond, is that not a harrowing villain moment?
It didn't get me.
Okay, all right.
It got me.
Moment?
It didn't get me.
Okay, all right.
It didn't get me. I don't know. Maybe because I was 2.5 hours in, and I was like,
I also feel like what he did to Bond in those final moments was
Now that's heroin.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Well, and that plays into it, which we'll talk about after the spoiler horn. But I think that plays into how sadistic he is And I don't know. I thought that made him a good
I
villain.
don't know.
They also made his face look really weird.
Yeah, I think due to like early poisoning as a child, it's supposed to indicate. But I don't know.
Around the flowers.
For me, I think having Christoph Waltz in the movie for a little bit, actually, for me, I think having Christoph Waltz in the movie for a little bit, actually goes to show.
Bearded teacher. Well, we're team beard now. 2 bearded teachers out there. That's funny, man. You gotta check the comments if you're watching this after the fact. I'm gonna leave the live comments so you can watch it back, and this so you can watch it back. Which also, if you have questions about editing podcasts on the iPad, drop it in the description or drop it below this video. I'll leave it up for replay, and I'll be answering those comments and questions also. All right, so I'm gonna pull another clip from the movie. This one towards the end, because I really want to show Nate that Lucifer Safin as a bad guy in this movie is really bad. So I'm going to find one more clip of him talking to Bond.
I'm not gonna make it.
Calm. It's.
What kills me inside and find me touch. Two heroes in a tragedy of our own and find me touch. We are their curse. Strong to their cheek. A kiss.
I'm going to pull that clip from the movie. Going to go back to the podcast, put it in here. Let's do that. Oh, thanks a lot, man. Thank you, bearded teacher, the bearded teacher. I'm going to check out your videos too, from one bearded teacher to another. Thank you. All right, here we go.
Flowers. Yeah.
And you find me touch. We are their curse. Strong to their cheek. A kiss.
For me, I think having Christoph Waltz in the movie for a little bit actually goes to show, oh yeah, you are a much creepier, scarier villain than Rami
I
Malek.
think, yeah.
And the fact that like I saw Christoph Waltz in this movie and I was like, oh well, I could have just than Rami Malek.
Yeah.
And the fact that like I saw Christoph Waltz in this movie and I was like, oh well, I could have just used you being the big bad again.
I think
Could have just used you big bad again. Would have been fine.
I think Christoph Waltz is better at delivering a line when he's talking to Bond in the jail. Like just his way of speaking.
Right.
And I think was, it makes your skin crawl. You're like, oh, this dude's bad.
Right.
And I think Malik maybe doesn't have that kind of gravitas when he speaks. But I don't know. I feel like as a overall villain, like the whole picture, as far as what he's doing as his evil plot and like his look, I thought his look was good for a Bond villain.
Yeah.
But he had a good
I am underwhelmed by the bad guy
okay, all
in this
right.
movie.
That's fine. I thought his look was good for a Bond villain.
Yeah. I am underwhelmed by the bad guy in this movie.
All right, that's fine.
Let's talk about Leia Sadu.
Okay, well, Ted, yeah, go ahead. Okay, yeah.
I didn't remember her from Spectre, but the movie started in Leia Sadu.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't remember her from Spectre, but the movie starts with James Bond and Madeline just driving through.
Cutting out the ums.
Just driving through beautiful landscape. And they are very much in love.
Right.
And I didn't know she was from the last movie, so I thought she was a new girl. She is not. They
is
have
not.
history together.
Right.
Let's go to Romance Corner.
Yeah.
How do you feel about James Bond and Madeline Swan, daughter of that one guy from Quantum of Solace, Mr. White? I think.
Yeah, I did not believe their romance as much as the Casino Royale romance. I did not believe their romance as much as the Casino Royale romance.
Yes.
I think the Casino...
Bring back
yeah.
Vesper.
Vesper, which her character at least.
Yes. Bring back
Yeah.
Vesper.
Vesper, which again, like her character at least plays into the the first scenes. But I think Vesper was a more believable relationship. This one, I'm glad it was short-lived at the beginning of the movie. I mean, later when he's like just trying to protect her, I believe it a little more. But I'm not down.
But we have to buy this. We have to buy this romance. Buy this so hard. A lot of
Oh my word! Come on.
Self-sacrifice that James
That's
Bond.
weird.
We have to buy this romance hard because
Down.
we have to buy this romance so hard because a lot of motivation and self-sacrifice that James Bond does is for Madeline. So if it doesn't fly for you at the beginning, does hurt some motivation later on.
Well, I also think this is a little bit of a spoiler, but James Bond supposedly has a daughter.
A little bit of a spoiler.
Do
That's
it,
like
doesn't
part of
have-
I don't know. I don't think any. Oh, I have to. No, I have. Well, sorry. We have to talk
What?
about one more thing before we go.
Okay,
To,
okay.
So we're going to do a spoiler horn in this episode because we don't want to reveal the ending just yet, which if you're watching this video and you don't want the James Bond movie No Time to Die to be spoiled, you might want to come back later or watch the movie. But I'm going to cut out some things here and readjust because...
Cut all that romance corner stuff out. We'll talk about that
Okay,
after
okay.
the spoiler horn. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who
we're gonna cut
plays about Latrona? I want to talk a little bit about Latrona Lynch.
So we're going to save Romance Corner,
Motivation and
which is our part of the podcast where we talk about relationships in a movie.
self-sacrifice that James Bond.
Such as the Casino Royale romance.
Yes. Bring back
Yeah, yeah.
Vesper.
Vesper, which again, like her character at least plays into the the first scenes.
Latrona
Okay, let's
Lynch.
see if I can
Who plays
make this
the
seamless.
new double Latrona Vesper. I want to talk a little bit about Latrona Lynch, who plays the new 007
Right.
that M brings in.
Right.
Now, Latrona Lynch played in Captain Marvel. I was like, where do I recognize you from?
Oh, yeah.
She was Captain Marvel's friend.
Right.
Other.
Yes.
I think her look is great. And is great, but I'm a friend.
Right.
I think her look is great, and I think her overall vibe in this movie is great. But I'm going to get on a bit of a soapbox for just a second.
Okay. Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, I think it's amazing just in the franchise.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing just in general that the franchise was like, no, listen, we made Latrona Lynch 007. She's the new 007 because James Bond is gone. She seems baller. She seems like perfectly, wonderfully capable and great. And I think as far as representation, amazing.
Yeah.
Good job, studio. Then, but I do have one thing to say here. I would love if the script and the story was able to give Latrona Lynch's character just a little bit more personality. It's almost as if they're like, listen, she needs to look cool and competent so that audiences don't like get mad that she's James Bond. But I really wanted her to have more, and I feel like they gave her nothing to do except do cool actiony things and wear really sweet sunglasses. And I was like, oh man, I'm so interested in this character, but you didn't give her anything to do. And then halfway through the movie, she does in a believable character move from what I know about her, which is not much, gives the 007 back to Daniel Craig. And I don't believe that her character would be like, M, I'd like to officially give 007 back to James Bond. And I think in real life, she would be like, I respect you, but the number is still the number. So, sorry, bud.
I guess.
You're a spy because you use your real name all the time. So why even Sorry, bud. You're also a bad super spy because you use your real name all the time. So why even have 007? Thanks.
It's a good point. It's a good point. You agree. I think I agree. I think because they made the point. I do agree. I think I agree. I think because they made the number thing such a big part of her relationship with Daniel Craig, there wasn't room for any other character development. Like I would say
That's it.
I would say leave that whole part out. Call her 006 or 008 and then never talk about the numbers again, and instead give her a couple scenes of personality where she has to do like, you know, because she talks to James Bond. When we first see her, she basically fools James Bond, like gets him, you know, because she talks to James to like, when we first see her, she basically fools James Bond, like gets him to bring her to his house.
Right.
Like she gets to do a little bit of spy stuff, but then never again.
Then never
She doesn't do
again.
any other spycraft. Yeah. So I say take out all the 007 conversation, just give her a different number, and give her a couple scenes where she has to actually, like, I don't know, be a spy. You know, talk convincingly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not yes. And not only that, I mean, I like the fact of give her 00 and then barely.
All right, I want to find a clip of that actress talking to Bond, which is pretty early in the movie. And let's see, after some of the action.
Madeline, how did...
The blood.
And remove the weapon. No. Sleep. Bad judgment.
Is that the bedroom? I'm here as a professional courtesy.
Cut to the chase.
I'm here as a professional courtesy.
Well, you're not very courteous, are you? You've broken my car. It's Commander Bond.
You know that.
2 years.
00?
2 years.
Very young.
I'm here as a professional courtesy.
Well, you're not very courteous, are you? You've broken my car.
I want to get that
You're
00
not
part.
very courteous, are you? 00?
2 years.
Very young.
I achieved that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The world's moved on since you retired.
Very young.
I achieved that. The world.
All right, so I'm going to get those two clips, tap and hold, and then you can select multiple little clips there, like that. And I'm going to copy. I'm going to go back to the episode, paste it. Let's see how that plays right there.
Bye. Talk convincingly.
Cut to the chase.
I'm here as a professional courtesy.
Well, you're not very courteous, are you? 00?
2 years.
Very young.
I achieved that.
And not only that, I mean, I like the fact of give her 007 and then barely ever talk about it again, and then James Bond at the end is like, "You'll be a good 007."
Yeah,
Great,
that'd be fine too.
Done.
Yeah.
Like he builds respect for her, not the other way around. I think maybe another armchair director thing that I would say, and I know this is going to make you very sad,
Okay.
is that Ana de Armas as Paloma is in this movie for approximately 12 minutes
Yeah.
in the Cuba scene. Never circles back around.
No.
Now, if you were to tell me that they're setting her up to have a spin-off like Paloma series, yes, would watch a standalone movie for sure.
Sure.
But she never comes back in this movie. What about, instead of it being her, what if we are introduced to the 007, Latrona Lynch, as that character, as Paloma, and then
Right.
we find out later she's not a newbie, she is a 00, as that character, as Paloma,
Right.
and then we find out later she's not a newbie, she is a 007, and like that's the tie-in, and that way we get more personality of her.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
I'm not sure what Ana de Armas. That's the tie-in, and that way we get more personality of her.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not sure what Ana de Armas does for this movie's her.
Yeah.
And like that's the tie-in, and that way of her.
Yeah.
7. That's the tie-in, and that way we get more personality of her.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not sure what Ana de Armas does for this movie's plot other than be like a delightful breath of fresh air in the middle of a Cuba scene where she's plays a really delightful character and then's gone forever.
Yeah, because it is weird. Like when she was announced, I thought she was positioned as the next Bond girl, like for the movie,
Right.
which obviously wouldn't make sense now knowing the plot because Madeline is his relationship.
Right.
So there's not a Bond girl. So I thought it was so strange. Like she came on screen, they did the action scene, and then she says goodbye, and not even like a callback, not even like.
And you think she's gonna show back? Yeah, even if you're like, oh, maybe she'll be bad. Maybe we'll find out she double crosses him.
Right,
There's
right.
not a ton of, how do I say, like surprising turns for a movie, which we could say it's a spy movie very loosely. Like you said, not a lot of spycraft.
Right.
A lot of
right.
shooty instead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think either those two characters being one or doing something different with Latrona.
All right, gonna get a clip of Ana de Armas, the actress, because we just talked about her.
Oops.
Terrible gloves.
As good as can be. It's my party.
Found it.
Let's get a drink. We get to know each other just a little bit before we,
Oh. I forget things when I get nervous. This is the biggest job I've ever had. Ay, Colibra. Sí. I forget things when I get nervous. This is the biggest job I've ever had.
Here, we'll do that clip right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Ay, Coliver. See, I forget things when I get nervous. This is the biggest job I've ever had.
Either those two characters being one or doing something different with Latrona Lynch's character would have been better. Like, it did feel weird. There were some funny lines that came from it, like when I think M says, we're going to reinstate your 00 status to Bond, and she's like, what number is that? Like, what number are you giving him?
Yeah,
there's some funny
good.
lines, but I don't think you need a whole character for a couple funny lines like that. I think you could do better.
And I will toot this horn until the end of my days. Naomi Harris, who plays Moneypenny, one of the top 10 most beautiful women in all the world. It is a disgrace how little she does in these movies.
It is a shame.
And ever since that she shot him off the train.
Right.
It's like, why aren't you a bigger role in any of these movies? And it's sad, and I'm so sorry, Naomi Harris.
I agree, because she was also very like quippy and quick with her lines whenever she interacted with Bond in like past movies. So yeah,
she actually held her own with him in a scene in a way that's like, oh man, I bet he would respect her own with him in a scene in a way that's like, oh man, I bet he would respect her as either a friend or later on like a partner. But nope.
Also,
she's just like a secretary now. Nope. She's just like that's what I have to say about Moneypenny.
She could have been in.
She's relegated to a desk where she like is a. I don't know. Anyway, she's or later on like a partner, but nope.
All right, cut this.
Nope, she's relegated to a desk where she like is a. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I have to say about Moneypenny.
She could have been in that scene instead of Ana de Armas and Armas.
Penny.
She could have been in that scene instead of Ana de Armas, and like that would have been cool too.
Yes.
But I do not want to remove Ana de Armas from this movie, so we're gonna move on. I'm not suggesting any of that.
Okay, quick question about Jeffrey Wright as Felix Leiter.
Yes.
Who is in movies. I don't know if he's been in the last. Okay, quick question about Jeffrey Wright as Felix Leiter.
Yes.
Who is in a couple movies. I don't know if he's been in the last two.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think it's a spoiler to say about his death, right?
All right. So a little more than halfway through. This is the edited part before the playhead, and still have to edit that last little bit. So I'm going to edit that off camera, but let me know if you have questions, again, about editing podcasts on iPad, questions about podcasting in general, whether it's hosting, editing, production. I'd love to drop them in the description, and I answer those in a future video. I also have videos already talking a lot about where to host your podcast, how to do it with Squarespace and Buzzsprout. So check out those other videos, like and subscribe, of course. And thanks again for tuning in. If you'd like to do more of these, or if you'd like to see more of these, kind of real-time editing of podcasts on the iPad, let me know in the comments. I'll catch you next time.